Hello there, good morning and welcome to the sports update here on the Max Morning Show. No better place to start from than Ivory Coast and Sofitel Hotel and at the 45th CAF General Assembly. Also, and they deliberated on issues confronting African football and also a draw for African teams or African nations. All the 54 member states, everyone will be participating in the draw to see if they can qualify for the World Cup in 2026. And also, but before that, FIFA President Gianni Infantino Bekasai or say Africa in time past, you call World Cup 5 representatives per any other call. This time, he's ensured that Africa has 9 representatives and could even end up with 10.
I was saying before, this afternoon we'll have the draw for the Men's World Cup 2026 in Canada, Mexico, and United States. And for the first time in history, 9 or 10 African countries will participate in this World Cup. From 5 to 9, at least, potentially 10 countries, double the number of countries than before. Those of you who, like me, are around these meetings for some years or even some decades now, they remember that for many years, or many decades even, people were speaking about maybe moving the African participation to the World Cup from 5 to 6 participants. Well, 1 year after my election as FIFA president, we moved not from 5 to 6, but from 5 to 9 or 10 participants. And this is significant because it will allow you, your governments, your football people to invest in football with a real chance to participate in the pinnacle of world football, in the World Cup. I think that some of the legends who are here, they might want to go back to play. You are still all very fit because you have more chances, double the chances than in the past to play in a World Cup. We know as well, though, that in order to perform well, we need to invest. And of course, our gratitude goes here in Côte d'Ivoire to the government for investing in football, investing in the African Cup of Nations, to all the governments of Africa, to all the associations, and finally as well to CAF and FIFA. Again,
Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, there yesterday at the 45th Ordinary General Assembly, of course. So, CAF President Patrice Motsepe and Sobeji Podium Nekasai, he praised some African countries, especially the North African countries, for the massive development they've made with regards to football.
The first is we've got an absolute clear understanding of what our objective is in relation to football, and we recognize that for many years, African football players have played exceptionally well, have been amongst the best in the world. And the key objective for us is to make sure that the quality of the sponsors, the partners, the private sector, our governments, there's a huge amount of increased cooperation, but we are football people. We can play beautiful football, but what matters is we've got to score goals. We've got to score goals. We've got to win. We've got to win. And the core, the determinant of our success is what happens in every single one of the 54 nations in Africa. The test as to whether African football is succeeding, is growing, is becoming globally competitive is what is happening in each one of the 54 nations in Africa. And we look at the success of many of our nations, and particularly the 5 I spoke about. I go to Egypt, I see a beautiful world-class football development center for the youth, the support of the government, the cooperation, wonderful. And then you begin to see why Al Ahly, Zamalek, the Egyptian teams, the national team does very well and makes the continent very proud. I go to Algeria. I'm hosted by the head of state. I see the facilities. I see the commitment of the government, the commitment of the people of Algeria, the passion for football makes me proud. And then you begin to understand why Algerian football does so well and makes us proud. A few days ago, we were in Morocco. We had the Exco, and they were opening the headquarters of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, world-class facilities, world-class infrastructure. It helps if you've got a head of state and a government that's passionate about football. Makes us proud. And then you begin to understand why football in Morocco, football in Algeria, football in Egypt, football in Senegal. President Macky Sall Senghor always tells me, I'm supporting the national team of
President Patrice Motsepe there praising some African countries. So Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Senegal, Okowa facilities, it is world class, and there's no doubt national teams they do well when they get onto the international stage. Here the World Cup draw no share. So 2026 Ghana will be attempting to qualify for that World Cup because so Mexico, Canada, and USA we are in Group I. The entire group. Here Samoa say Ghana we can qualify.
Let's quickly review all the 9 groups. Group A with the top seed Egypt, joined by Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, and Djibouti.
And in Group B, we have a defending champion, Senegal, Congo DR, Mauritania, Togo, Sudan, and South Sudan.
And in Group C, Nigeria, South Africa, Benin, Zimbabwe, Rwanda, and Lesotho.
And in Group D, from D1, we have Cameroon, Cape Verde, Angola, Libya, Eswatini, and Mauritius.
And in Group E, Morocco, joined by Zambia, Congo, Tanzania, Niger, Eritrea.
And Group F, we have La Côte d'Ivoire, Gabon, Kenya, D Gambia, Burundi, and Seychelles.
And in Group G, Algeria leading the group with Guinea, Uganda, Mozambique, Botswana, and Somalia.
In Group H, we have Tunisia, Guinea Equatorial, Namibia, Malawi, Liberia, Sao Tome, and Principe.
And finally, Group I, headed by Mali, together with Ghana, Madagascar, Central African Republic, Comoros, and Chad. And with that, Samson, we officially conclude the technical part of this draw. I must say this has been probably the most entertaining draw I've ever been part of. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to join you on stage, legends. Thank you. Back to you.
Now a question for you. Asamoah Gyan, as Ghana were in part 2, the Black Stars has come up against one of the top ranked teams. Of course, they will be facing Mali. That will be a very exciting fixture, don't you think?
First of all, I would like to say greetings to everybody, greetings to the all the football associations in Africa. Of course, FIFA President, Mr. Infantino, and CAF President, Mr. Motsepe. And back to your question. I think since 2006, when we qualified for the first time, till 2022, I think we have been very consistent, except in 2018 that we didn't qualify. And it looks like we are getting used to the World Cup right now. And 2026 is not going to be easy. Expectation is high back home, but we will try our possible best to make sure we also qualify.
Asamoah Gyan, abrafoni friend Gyan, yedi NMC a friend yaw Asamoah Gyan, proper legend, ye legend power Ghana football. Asamoah Gyan can Black Stars all-time leading top scorer with 51 goals. They say the CAF be FIFA baby and almost turn the friend because bravo ball football mono it is unprecedented. Yeah, share Group I. Let's focus on Group I. Well, Ghana war the Group I. And they said the winners of each group qualify automatically to play in the World Cup. It's Group I. Ghana will be coming up against Mali. We have Madagascar in the Central African Republic. Obekaya, AFCON ya yeboy. More group. More one match crowd. And Sunday who say be qualify ni enko. Team our high AFCON na yebotwe mu 2021. Comoros baby dapani mo pa how mo high no. They are in our group again. This time we are in for revenge. And a Chad. So Ghana should be able to qualify for the World Cup from this group. When we say football, there is not played on paper anymore, but we should be able to qualify. Now, team will be my higher group Mali. because they are doing something unique. They are developing their football. And Mali, and the biggest obstacle, if our coach that is Chris Hilton and then Emranti Timito Tonyema, we should be able to overcome Mali, Madagascar, Central African Republic, Comoros, and Chad. About 10 games and San Wetima qualify for the World Cup. We missed out on one occasion, that is 2018, 2022 year by 2026, USA, Canada, Mexico. Kobe, because Black Stars will be qualifying. But talking about the Black Stars, let's talk about the Black Queens as well. And that is an Olympic game qualifier. And my colleague Nafisa Dunafata has filed this report.
The Black Queens of Ghana will be hoping to qualify for the Olympic Games for the first time in history when they kickstart their Paris 2024 qualification games with a two-legged fixture against their Guinean counterparts. The Queens go into their first leg with an unbeaten record in their recent friendly games, winning 2 and drawing once in their last 3 games under the head coach Nora Hoptel, who remains confident the team has had adequate preparation going into the qualifiers. The Swiss tactician has assembled the best available individual players from both local and foreign leagues to represent the country, with the likes of Portia Boachi, Evelyn Badu, Mariam Ponsa and Doris Bedua among the most notable call-ups for the games. The 2024 CAF Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament will be the 6th edition for the CAF Women's Olympics Qualifying Tournament, the quadrennial international football competition organized by CAF to determine which women's national teams from Africa qualify for the Olympic football tournament. The CAF Confederation has been allocated 2 slots at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games Women's Football Tournament, with the only teams emerging victorious from the 4 rounds of the 2-legged knockout games, sealing qualification to the tournament. Ghana begins its qualification campaign against Guinea in the first round at the General Lassana Conte Stadium in Conakry at 4 p.m., with the second leg set to take place 4 days later in Ghana, whilst teams like Nigeria, Cameroon, Morocco and Zambia have received byes at the second round of qualification.
So it's the Black Queens against Guinea in Conakry, and we are hoping that they would get the results and come back for the second leg. Okay, so now that the Ghana Football Association launched the Ghana Football Philosophy, where they are trying to create an identity for Ghana football. The event was held in Accra, and after that, I caught up with former Black Stars midfielder Yusuf Chipsa. Also, starting this project from the grassroots is the best. This is starting from the youth level. I mean, as low as under 7. I mean, teaching them our philosophy and how we play. How will this go a long way to help our national teams?
I mean, that is where it's supposed to start from, because the grassroots is the source. It's like a farm. That is where the future relies on. So it is very, very important that the kids or the children get to know what the philosophy is, what the style of play is at that level. They are going to grow up with it. So I think it's right that it's starting at that level, at the grassroots. You know, children learn fast, and the moment they get that in place at that younger age, it becomes easy when they grow up, when they get to the senior level or when they get into their teens. So as to when we are going to realize that, I think majority of the job relies on the coaches or the trainers. They have a lot of work to do, and they have to make sure that they understand the philosophy very well in order to impact the knowledge into the young ones coming. There will be few challenges here and there, but we have to believe in it and hope that it will work.
Ghana Football Philosophy. We are hoping that by 2026, the NHS so about you could be more World Cup in Canada or US or Mexico. Maybe I could be a boy, but born for sure. We say Ghana boy, any friend a grow born. This time we are mixing it with the modern trends and a scientific approach. And any idea you're born. Let's do Wimbledon, because there's good news for Africa. Ons Jabeur from Tunisia will do finals of the Wimbledon. Sasna Vondrousova from Czech and so do finals. So Saturday is Ons against Vondrousova. So Saturday we are looking forward to an interesting game between Makita Vondrousova from Czech Republic and Ons Jabeur from Tunisia. Remember that the winner of that game earns £2.35 million. So when we need obenya around £1 million. So that is a lot of money. On Jabe Nyes Canon from Africa. And so a member of semi-finals, the likes of Djokovic, Alcaraz will all be in action. Na me de see na mako. Kai say Sunday. Free to Zafi. Just bring your bowl, come to Max TV. Or the back as I watch you me. Or the back as I watch you me. Cause I watch you Mutala. Me ama be shiao. Ajo tata. Ajo. Me no go to say didi. Me ama jo tata. Pe baby am what's na. Of course.
No, not to tear Diana.
Yeah, we are not saying chibi. Enti maybe see me April na ready. Ediana say me chibi. Physical football fear have me more.
Hey, Manso.
Me say me power ba. Manso the head.
Manso.
Especially o twe na you say wasa when you da and head no. And no chinya you say wasa when you da but you are doing it for you.
Now come on head.
No, so you said you no win until twa we beti asem no so wasa when you so for asem so. And I don't know. It's a record that baby ni joy the more we.